Hello to everyone, I'm Ada from Poison Rock, and today we have the honor to have with us Chris from Internal Bleeding. Hi Chris, first of all, how are you?
I'm doing okay. How are you? Things are great. Can't complain.
Here as well, it's good, it's
Good.
good. We are a little bit struggling with all the situation, but we are going okay. So I
Right.
want to go straight to the first question and just make a short introduction of internal bleeding. But I want just to make this question as first because you are the inventor of slam. What is
Mhm.
that? So I want to clarify this first.
Well, in my view,
Yeah.
it is a focus on being really groovy and
Yeah.
really catchy all the time. No filler, all hooky riffs and all catchy riffs that make you want to move all the time. So
Yeah.
that's
Making
that's
noise. Make
yeah,
some
that's
noise.
that's that's our definition of slam, and we came out with that word as I mean, Anthrax used it, not Anthrax, but punk rock bands used it in the
Yeah.
'80s all the time. But we brought it to the death metal world in the early
Yeah.
'90s. Yeah,
Yeah, because it was
so
something new, something that,
yeah, it was. That people didn't get it
yeah.
when we were first describing it, but when they saw us live, they understood it.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
So basically, you were in since '91 till today, like a sort of influences for a lot of new bands because
oh yeah, absolutely.
that's amazing. So speaking about the earlier time, you came out with the first demo, $1.
Yeah.
I want to know what about the first demo, how it started, and of course, I want to introduce the other guys in Internal Bleeding.
Yeah, so the $1 demo started like almost like a joke.
Yeah.
So our friend Pete, who we used to call our roadie, used to be a janitor at night. He used to sweep floors,
Yeah, yeah.
and he used to sweep floors at a university. And he stole a box of cassette tapes, like a
Tip.
thousand, like 1,000 cassette tapes, and brought them to the studio. And we said, wow, look at all these cassette tapes. What are we going to do with them? And we were like, why don't we just record something on them
Yeah, yeah,
and, sell it for $1 at a show, and
yeah,
see if anybody likes it.
yeah.
So that's kind of how it was born. And it's funny.
But
People who have the original copies of that $1 demo, if they listen to the whole demo and then they keep listening, you'll all of a sudden hear stuff on the cassettes that was already there, which were lectures from a university. So it's
really,
pretty funny. That's why we only sold it for $1 because I recorded
it's
it on a little recorder, a little
record
4-track
type.
recorder.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was cheap and we didn't want to rip anybody off, so we sold it for $1 and hey, people liked it. So
yeah, because it's like a really, it's also like a particular, like you can say, a tip of your career, like something really like a treasure of the
yeah,
internal
yeah,
music
yeah, yeah, yeah.
career, like a story
Absolutely.
to tell.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
right.
amazing.
Yes, absolutely. It's funny. I can't listen to it because it's so bad. But people like it, and that's all that matters as long as people like
Yeah.
it,
Yeah,
you
but of
know.
course, after that, I know that it comes out perpetual degradation.
Well, we
And
came out with we came with Invocation of Evil
yeah,
after that, then Perpetual
yeah.
Degradation.
So
Right.
in this period, something changed in the sound. It became more a little more technique in the composition. So like in studio mixing, or was still tough, like the first
Well,
demo.
no, I think a lot of things with those two
Yeah,
demos. Um, we grew as musicians
yeah,
and as a band because we'd play every 4 to 5 times a week. We'd practice, so we were really tight and a lot more professional than we were when we did the $1 demo.
of
And
course.
we became a lot more selective about what we wrote and how we went about writing songs. And we just got better at what we did.
Yeah,
So
of course.
so there's that part to it. And then we actually saved up money and went to a proper recording studio to record these things, which of course made them sound 100 times better, you know,
of course
because
the
they
sound
were
changed
actually
as well. Yeah.
right. So
Yeah, the ending sound, yeah.
but I mean, you know, back then everything, I mean, that was just us setting up and recording it live. I mean, it was all everybody playing at the same time. I mean, there was no one guy does his guitar tracks, one guy does
Yes.
all at the same time. We did it all at the
Direct
same
straight
time.
away to the
Right, because we didn't have a lot of money. So it's like, okay, you're going to go in, you're going to record these 3 or 4 songs. You have 4 hours to get it done. Go.
so you
Okay, now we
did
gotta
it.
right, now you got to mix it. Okay, it's done. Pay us our, you know, $1,000 and be done with it or whatever. So
Yeah, but
both those demos were rushed, but we were also pretty tight and the music was good and we had a good time recording it. And
yeah.
I'm proud of those 2 demos.
Yeah,
you know?
a lot of fans I heard about, they are really, I'm gonna say they're really happy, and they love this first demos, because it's like pure material of pure death metal, we can say. And then you came with the first album, the first full length, we can say, Voracious Content. How did this have an impact on the current, at the time, death metal scene?
Say that again?
How it impact on the...
Oh, well, yeah, I mean, it was something completely different at the time, because there wasn't a lot of blast beats, and it was a lot of just so much groove and a lot of you know, I hate to say it, but a lot of hip hop in it, you know, a lot of hip hop beats and things like that. And
I know, unfortunately.
Yeah, you know, no, but that's what we wanted. That's, you know, that's our sound. That was our sound. Nobody was doing like really hip hoppy beats with sick guitar riffs to them and stuff like that. So, you know, it was something different. I wish the production and the sound was better, but it's not. But what it was something that impacted a lot of bands and a lot of people in a very positive way. So, you know, I'm very happy about it.
I think they are, because it's still, yes, if you look still today. And the following album, like Extinction of Benevolence, Drive to Conquer, and Onward to Mecca, they came after one another before, like we can say, stop. What changes? Like, I mean, as well, like sound. And of course, I think it changes something also in the composition and in the topic. There is a main topic that you always faced in all these albums.
Yeah, I mean, well, not really like a main topic, but so like, but every album has a different mood to it.
Yeah.
So you take the album as a whole. So, Extinction of Benevolence, we want it to be really dark and really obscenely heavy and disgusting, you know. And that was our goal with that album. And there was no other goal, you know, other than it to be slammy and groovy. But we wanted it slower, heavier, dirtier, you know, and
rough.
I think I think we achieved that with that album. So I think it's markedly different sounding than Voracious Contempt, but it still sounds like Internal Bleeding. And then when we did Driven to Conquer, we put a lot more New York hardcore into our music. Okay, and the lyrics weren't as dark. They were more from a personal point of view.
Yeah.
About struggle and overcoming struggle and challenges that we face in our lives and depression and stuff like that. So most of the lyrics on that album were very personal, as opposed to Extinction of Benevolence, which was just heavy and dark subject material. And then Onward to Mecca started, you know, basically September 11th. We're all New Yorkers.
Yeah.
And we lost, I can't tell you how many friends of mine died. So that album was literally lashing out at the world, you know,
what was going on back then. Yeah.
Right. And it was, and I could say safely that it was a statement of just pure hatred, blinding hatred, you know, just kill everybody. And so that's kind of where that album came from. And that took more, that threw more hardcore into it. And then, you know, when we moved forward after that, you know, and came out with Imperium, that was back more to back more to death metal-y and
Yes.
less hardcore influences, but still that internal bleeding sound, that groovy, catchy, always
Yeah.
that's the thread that goes through every album,
That
But
always the slam stayed in each
right.
albums.
But we always change, every album we try to change it up a little bit, because I don't want to put, we could put out Voracious Contempt 100 times in a row.
Yeah.
I could write Voracious Contempt 1,000,000 times. It's easy. I don't want to do that.
Yeah,
I want
of
to
course.
expand the sound, give our fans something interesting to listen to, and enjoy. And it's not the same thing all the time. And that's hard to do. It's hard to do over almost 30 years, but we're still managing. So,
yeah.
very
But of
happy
course,
about that.
a lot. There are a lot of changes of lineup in the band.
Yeah.
How much this impact the sound? Because I know, of course, each musician have his own influences. So did it have this an impact on composing the lyric?
Well, not really the lyrics, since I handle most of the lyrics. But musically, absolutely. With Driven to Conquer, we had Guy Marché playing guitar, who went on to play with Suffocation. And he took his ideas where I told him, he knows what our sound is, and he put his spin on what our sound should be, and now with Chris McCarthy, he does the same thing. He puts his spin on the sound, and I'm not a dictator. I don't say that it's got to be like this, I say as long as it meets what I think Internal Bleeding should sound like. Everybody shares ideas, So every new band member brings influences, and that's one of the reasons we've been able to survive so long. I hate, new band members is new blood, new influences, and
of course,
new enthusiasm. So I try to look at it. I hate changing band members, but in order, in today's day and age, in order to survive, if you're an underground band and you're not making any money, band members are going to leave. That's just the way it is. I mean, if we were all making money and making a living out of it, believe me, nobody would leave.
Yeah, that's for sure.
But that's not the case. So out with the people who are holding you back, and in with new people if you have to do it.
Yeah, of course. And but then in 2019. After the sadly loss of Bill Tolley, really sadly loss. I remember that time. You come back with Corrupting Violence influence. Yeah. So what about this last album? Because it's also the last album, but you release a single. I know. So before speaking about that, I wanted to speak about the last album, because it's like if you want to make can I say a comparison between the last album and the first demo, how can you say that Internal Bleeding grew up?
How we grew?
Yeah.
Oh, there's a lot of growth in that album. But there's a lot of growth in that album. I mean, I put guitar solos in that album, which I've never done before.
That's interesting.
That was a big step, and I added some melodic parts to some songs, which was another big step, which is something I wanted to do to shake things up. I added a lot more like Black Sabbath-y melodica, like Sabbath, Bloody Sabbath era, or Sabotage era Black Sabbath stuff into the music. So that was a big change, and I think it was a good change. But also in many ways it was a throwback to Voracious Contempt as well. Vocal style, and a lot of the riffs were very Voracious Contempt-y. So we tried to mix things up, and try to go forward, but also go back a little bit, like say, hey,
all the new,
yeah,
back and forth,
like a new old school jam, or something like that, So that's kind of how we approached that. That's kind of how we approached that album. We were like, let's take some chances, let's add some melody, and let's do this and let's do that, but let's also throw it back to 95 here and there, and get those disgusting hip-hoppy riffs in there and stuff like that. And so we did that, and pretty happy with it. I think it's our best album to date. So
that's a really good. And it's like a question split in two.
Okay.
I want that you choose one album that, in your opinion, it's important for all the band. For we can say for all Internal Bleeding. It could be for because it has a better, I don't know, mixing, a better topic. Just in your opinion. Another one that you want to advise for people that never have heard Internal Bleeding, the new kids, new generation, they want to find out that metal, this slam that metal.
Okay, so I understand. Okay, so
yeah,
if I had to pick one album,
yeah,
it would be okay. So if I had to pick one album for sound and musicality and things like that, it would be Corrupting Influence.
okay,
For people just discovering things, I would say Voracious Contempt, because that's the start of a million different bands that call themselves slam. You know, that's the blueprint. You know, so if they want to discover roots, that's where they go. And then they should immediately listen to Corrupting Influence, because the production is so bad on Voracious Contempt. So
since you back then we all knew that metal scene that in '91, but I want to know, of course, in your opinion, which is you see the difference in this scene back then and today. How it's changed in your opinion? Not only in the New York scene, but we can say in all the world.
General.
Yeah.
Right. Well, one thing. Okay, so I'll give you some like positives and negatives.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's look at today's scene. There's a lot of positives, like it's easier to get your music out to the world.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Right. Look at you and I are speaking across the fucking ocean. You know,
it's day and night.
In 1993, nobody ever thought this was possible. You know, so that's really incredible when you think about it. You know, I'm fortunate to be an old man, and I've spanned the length of time from, you know, where they barely had a dial-up modem to now. So it's like incredible. So that's a great thing. I think a lot of bands help each other out a lot through the internet and stuff. I think that's cool.
That's union. That means good things.
Right, and more bands can get discovered. But on the negative side, I don't think there's the same kind of band loyalty that there used to be back in the day, where fans were much more loyal to bands than they are today. Where today they jump around from band to band and they're not loyal. They'll like 2 songs and that's it, and they're not hardcore into the band. You know.
Yeah.
I think that I miss the letter writing and stuff like that. But that's old. You know. I mean, I don't know if it's a negative or not, but I personally miss the letter writing.
The letter writing,
yeah.
I heard about a lot of bands that I interviewed. They told me that find out they were sending tapes through the mail post, and
I miss coming home from work and staying up all night doing mail and sending out cassettes and putting ads in envelopes and things like that. It was a real magical time in my life, and I really love it, and I do miss it.
Yeah, but as well now, of course you toured a lot, but I would like to know if you have some memories that could be, I don't know, some particular moments or some funny moments or some gigs in particular that in all your career you remind mostly.
Okay, so all right, so here's a stupid moment. When we played in Italy, right, at the Circo Colony in I can't remember the town. Anyway, the stage is only about this high.
Oh my god, yeah, we do things like that. Yeah.
Whatever, 20 centimeters off the ground, 10 centimeters off the ground. I stepped off the stage and I broke my foot.
You broke
the show. I broke my foot during the show, and this was 3 days into our European tour.
Oh,
so it was really stupid because I mean you know the stage is only a couple of centimeters high. All I did was step down, boom! I snapped my foot, broke it. It swelled up like an elephant's foot.
Oh, just.
And I had to play. I played the whole show hobbling around on one foot. I got off stage. I had to cut my sneaker off because I couldn't untie it because it was like exploded because my foot was so swollen. And then I had to spend the next 3 weeks playing the tour with this broken foot.
My really congratulations, because it's not easy.
No. So that to me that was funny, because I can laugh about it now.
Yeah.
You know, because
it's a memory now.
Right, and I'm what you call a klutz. So stepping off a small stage and breaking my foot makes sense for me, because I trip over myself, and I'm so and then so some great gigs when we played Indonesia.
Yeah,
that was incredible. That was probably the most incredible gig I've ever played.
It's a beautiful country as well, yeah.
Absolutely, it's a beautiful country. We played the Hammer Sonic Festival, and it was just I can't even describe how insane that was. We also played a show in Amqui, Quebec in 1994 that was in a hockey arena, and it was sold out, and we ended up playing twice because they kept wanting us to do encores, which was fantastic. You know, that was a great. So those were my two favorite shows, and then but everything's special. I mean, I have so many special memories of being in Europe and meeting fans that I used to write to and stuff like that, which was a big thrill for me. You know, everything's good. You know, I'm just fortunate that, you know, ever since I was a little kid, this is all I wanted to do. Ever since I was 5 years old, playing in front of a mirror, thinking I was in a band, you know, and now here I am. I get to tour the world and see the world. You know, I am very, very grateful and thankful that I get to do this. So, you know, we might complain about when we're on the road about being tired or hungry or dirty and, you know, not being fed enough and stuff like that, but it's a blessing, you know.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah. And speaking a little about now, we speak a little about influences. Before going into your own personal influences, a little bit more in you, just the musical influences of Internal Bleeding, mostly.
Okay, well, I mean, I would say a lot of the early classic death metal bands, okay, without a doubt, you know, Possessed and Morbid Angel and all that, you know, all that stuff. Slayer. But then, you know, then the influences change. I mean, the metal influences end there, and then it's New York hardcore, you know, New York hip hop, Black Sabbath, you know, that stuff, which is the core of our sound. You know, the groovy hooks and the beats and all that stuff. You know, that's really the core. Yeah, that's the core of our sound. And my personal influences are pretty much. My personal influences are pretty much the same, except it's, you know, it's Black Sabbath, it's jazz. I love jazz. You know, it's hardcore, from New York hardcore. I like a lot of 80s goth, like, you know, Bauhaus and New Order and stuff like that, which actually influences my writing. A band called Vast, which is kind of like a modern goth band that I really like, that influenced me, you know. So I have a wide variety of influences that I try to somehow stick into Internal Bleeding, you know.
But if you have to pick out just 5 albums that influenced you as Chris, so not only musically, so in your entire life.
In my entire life, I got it, not just musically. Okay, so let's see, 5 albums. Let's see. Black Flag, Damaged.
Okay.
Black Sabbath Volume 4.
Okay.
That's okay. Third one, I would say Slayer, Hell Awaits. Fourth would be Rollins Band, either Wait or Come In and Burn. I don't know which one. I think for lyric, I think Come In and Burn, because the lyrics are better. And fifth would be, I would have to go, fifth would be, what do I listen to the most? Fifth would be Black Sabbath's first album.
Okay.
So those would be the 5 albums that define my life.
So now you are the organizer of a festival. Okay, so you can choose, it's like an imaginary festival. Let's speak like that. Boy. Yeah, everyone asked me for this question. So you can choose a country where settle the festival, It's even in imaginary country.
Okay.
And put all the band alive or not, artists alive or not. It's just like an imaginary. So what will you do?
Okay, so I would have a festival on an island in the Pacific
Okay.
where the weather's beautiful and the water's blue. Okay. And let's see who would be on it. Dad. The original Black Sabbath from circa 1972 or 3. Iron Maiden with Paul Di'Anno, not Bruce Dickinson.
With Paul Di'Anno.
Yeah, I don't like Bruce Dickinson at all. I like Paul Di'Anno. Let's see who else. Black Flag.
Black Flag, right?
With Black Flag with Henry Rollins or Keith Morris, either one. Let's see. Warzone, band from New York City that I love. I'll give you 10. That's 4. Okay. Slayer. Okay, that makes 5. Jimi Hendrix.
We have a guitarist. Okay.
John McLaughlin, Paco de Lucia, and Al Di Meola. They had a trio band, a jazz band. I would get him. I would get them. Charlie Parker, the jazz saxophonist. 2 other bands. Let's see here. Suffocation.
Okay.
And Entombed, circa Left Hand Path.
Entombed.
Okay, so that would be that would be my 10 band test.
We could be. It's like a death, hardcore, jazzy, blues fest.
Yeah,
that's great. Yeah. You have a lot of choice in that case.
I'll be the only one there, but that's okay.
Without internal bleeding playing.
Well, we'll play the night before.
Okay, so you will be like the opening act.
Right, we'll play the night before on the small stage it'll be us. It'll be Demonacy, which was a band from New Jersey. Torture Crypt, another band from New Jersey. Disgorge from California.
Disgorge, another one, yeah.
Yeah, and let's see who else. Who else would do that with us? Deicide.
Deicide, wow.
So that would be the night before opening up the fest.
So now I would like to ask you before ending the interview, because we said before there is a single release now. So there is an album coming up.
Well, we're working on it. So
okay, you're working on it. Okay.
Right now we're calling the album Overthrow Creation, which is the name of the single, but that'll probably change. But we wanted to get a single out. We haven't put out an album since 2018, so we wanted to get a single recorded and out before we went on our U.S. tour with Deicide and Cataclysm. So we wrote this song and we talked to our record label and said we want to do a single, we want to put a single out, and they said yeah, let's do it. And so we did a single and a video for it. I like the song. I think it came out great. It hits really fucking hard, and it shows that 30 years in the game, we're still there. We're still the kings of slam. So
yeah, that's for fun. Yeah, and I think that everyone can see that right now today. Yeah. So did you have any gigs scheduled for the future or near future?
Well, we have no tours, but next month we have we're playing a small festival out in California.
Okay.
We're flying out to California, and then we're doing a hometown show in the second week in November. Us, Suffocation, Afterbirth, 200 Stab Wounds. I think it's going to be an amazing show.
No, I'm sure it's there.
So that's all we got, and possibly going to Mexico in March, but I'm not sure yet.
The people that are insane, but they are great fans. They are amazing fans. I know. They know how to make noise in a festival.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. So I'm hoping that goes through and we can do it.
So just before ending, if you want to just leave a message, it's not. If you would just send a message to all the fans from the post mail and the new fans from the internet mail.
All right,
it will be great. And thank you so much, Chris, for finally having this interview.
Oh yeah, no, my pleasure. I really enjoy it, and thanks for having me. I really enjoy it. As far as a message, it's just eternal gratitude and thanks to new fans and old fans who just somehow always stick by our side through the ups and downs and all the shit that we go through. and they're always there for us. And I hope that I can survive and make music for a long time and keep putting out stuff. That's all. Check out our Facebook page. Check out our Instagram page. You know, if you don't like our Facebook page, make sure you like it. Make sure you like our Instagram page. Keep in touch with the band. We're very active on social media, so you can keep up with us there.
Okay, so thank you so much, and then I hope to see you in some festival in Europe somewhere.
Oh, we're working on some stuff over the summer, so hopefully the festivals don't get shut down.
No, I think they will go next year. So
I hope so. I hope so too.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Ciao.
Bye, Chris.
A dystopian world, a network of nefarious lies. Wired, just wired, the